Welcome to the Making a Multi-Million-Dollar Med Spa podcast, where we dive into the art and science of building a thriving med spa. I'm your host, Kat Taranto. In this podcast, we're all about empowering medical professionals and entrepreneurs like you with the knowledge, tools, and inspiration needed to elevate your practice to new heights. Whether you're just starting your journey or you're a seasoned expert looking to expand, this is the place where the industry's brightest minds come together to share their secrets to success. So sit back, relax, and get ready to unlock the potential of your med spa with the Making a Multi-Million-Dollar Med Spa podcast. Let's go on this journey together, one success story at a time. Hello and welcome, listeners. I'm absolutely thrilled to kick off April with our most recent industry spotlight. As you know, usually we focus on entire clinics in our Clinic to Watch program. But this month, we're doing something a little different. We're zooming in on one exceptional provider who's been making waves in the world of aesthetics. Our very first provider to watch, congratulations to Charlotte Sims. As a valued member of the Blue Spiral Med Spa team, Charlotte's journey in aesthetic medicine has been nothing short of remarkable. Earning her recognition for her outstanding teamwork and impressive performance, she's averaging over $120,000 per month in injectables. I mean, how awesome is that? I had the pleasure of chatting with Charlotte, and let me tell you, her passion for aesthetics is palpable. But it wasn't always injectables and fillers for Charlotte. She began working alongside Dr. Ed Pittman in his plastic surgery practice. Watching him work his magic with injectables sparked something in her, and when Dr. Pittman offered to teach her the ropes, Charlotte jumped at the opportunity. Fast forward to today, and injectables are her absolute favorite treatments to perform. For Charlotte, it's not just about the procedure, it's about transforming lives and boosting confidence. But of course, every journey has its challenges. For Charlotte, one of the biggest hurdles was shifting patient perspectives from doctor-led to nurse-led care. But with the guidance and support of Dr. Pittman, she navigated those challenges with grace and determination, earning the trust and loyalty of her clients along the way. Loyalty goes a long way in the city of Athens, Georgia, where Charlotte practices. Word of mouth is king, and those referrals are how Charlotte has grown in her success. At Blue Spiral Med Spa, it's all about collaboration and camaraderie. And according to Charlotte, it all starts at the top. The support and encouragement from her colleagues and management have been instrumental in her journey to success. As Charlotte continues to explore new treatments and innovations with boundless enthusiasm, she remains an inspiration to us all. In her delightful Southern twang, she says, "I'm a believer that you can teach an old dog new tricks. It just takes a lot longer." The next step on her master plan, Sculptra. So here's to Charlotte Sims, a true luminary in the world of aesthetics. We're incredibly proud of her achievements, and we can't wait to see what the future holds. If you want to learn more about Charlotte and Blue Spiral Med Spa, head over to their website or give them a follow on Instagram. And don't forget, if you know of a clinic, provider, or treatment that's driving excellence in aesthetics, be sure to nominate them using the link below. Welcome back to the Making of a Multi-Million-Dollar Med Spa podcast. I'm Kat Taranto, and I have my business partner and husband, Matt, here with me today.
Her much better half. Much older half, but much better half.
You are the funnier one.
Oh,
that's
yes.
for sure. I got to bring you back on to keep the laughs coming in.
Yes, I try.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We're going to do a fun, quick little episode. Actually, an impactful episode on how we can work with charities in our local area to not only support them and give back to the community, but how it can also make a difference and impact our business. And so why don't you share a little bit about how that's come to be, like where you started with that and what we're currently doing now and how that's impacted our business as well.
Well, we knew from the beginning we always wanted to be a business, our clinics, right, that weren't just in it to maximize the amount of money we could make. We wanted to be an active part of our community. And what we really realized early on, once we started doing more of the grassroots guerrilla marketing and moving away from the traditional marketing, is that the more involved we become in Kansas City, the busier we get. So it really serves two needs. One, we want to do it, right? We want to help charities, especially ones that we're passionate about. it's good to be a good human being. But it was very obvious early on to see that is really good for your business too. And we committed to be the most visible clinic in Kansas City as far as being out in the community. So we've done a variety of things, and I know some of them we may have talked to on other podcasts, but we even have a section of our website where, because now one of the biggest things with charities, and if you've been in this business for a while, is auctions. So it's schools, sports teams, charities, women's groups, they all have auctions to raise money. And the aesthetic industry has something that people like to buy at an auction. And so we used to donate things, right? And we donated a hydrofacial, we donated a BBL, we donated cool sculpting. And we always wanted to help. But then we started thinking, we could get more people in if we donate an event. So we started donating girls' night outs. And those worked really well. So all of a sudden, 10 people would come in and we'd put a really good value on it. So that was nice. But then we started to think, listen, one of the hardest things charities do is fundraise, right? To raise money, and there's so many charities. So how can we help them raise money, but also benefit our business so you're kind of both benefiting? So the first one we did a number of years ago, it was with the women of the Kansas City Lyric Opera. So the Lyric Opera has 50 women who volunteer to promote the opera, fundraise for the opera, things like that. And one of them was a client friend, and they'd had some auctions we had donated to, but then I had an idea. I said, listen, you have 50 women. Why don't we have an opera night at Aesthetic Care? We're going to invite these women in, and we're going to have wine, hors d'oeuvres. We're going to have a fun door prize. We're going to make it a fun evening where we teach about aesthetics. But for every person you bring, I will donate $50 to the women of the Kansas City Lyric Opera, a tax-deductible donation, something good for the arts of Kansas City. So 41 of the 50 came. So we donated $2,050 to the opera. Do you know that night we booked almost 20 consults? And then we started thinking, God, if we can help them with their passion, and in return, they just come learn about us, both sides win. So we've been doing this more and more. We just did one recently with an Alzheimer's Foundation. And there's a client of ours who's very passionate about it. She's on the board. And we hosted an evening event. And she invited, I think, about 35 people in. And we donated $100 to Alzheimer's Foundation on behalf of them. So we donated $3,500, tax deductible. But do you know, we booked out of the 35, I think we booked 22 new appointments. And do you know how much money, how much revenue we're going to generate on 22 appointments? Well more than the 3,500 we donated. And so we really are looking at this as an opportunity. We've done so many of these now. We've got one coming up in 2 nights, and it's for a school. It's a high school that they're raising money for the lacrosse team, and it is a true, charity designation. So we do get you get the credit for donating charity, the tax credit. And this one, they have almost 40 people coming, and these are mothers of kids who play lacrosse at this big high school. And they raise money a lot for travel budgets and things like that. So we're donating $100 per person. And one of the big ones, which obviously you're a part of, Kathy and I have been involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters for a number of years. We are a big couple. We have a little. It's an organization that we're very passionate about because there's such a need. In Kansas City alone, there's over 300 kids on a wait list for a big sister, big brother, or big couple. Mm-hmm. And so you and I have joined up, and we are part of their Kansas City Most Wanted huge fundraising event in December. Last year they raised $1.2 million. So we're doing a lot of different things to raise money for that, you and I, and we're going to be heavily involved. But at the clinic, from April 1st all the way to December 14th, when you check out, you can donate $1, $3, or $5 to Big Brothers Big Sisters. 100% goes. We just cut a video explaining how we feel about the organization, why we think it's important. And just in the 1 week we've been doing that, we've gotten such positive feedback from our clients that, oh my God, that is such a wonderful organization. So glad you're helping that. So I would just strongly recommend to any clinic out there that you get hyperactive with charities in your community that you feel passionate about. I think it's just phenomenal.
I love it. It's made such an impact, in my personal life, just getting to be part of that with some of the earlier groups that we worked with up until now, what we're doing. But I kind of want to unpack a little bit about what you've been talking about, because you talked about so many different concepts and how to do this and make it successful. So number one, you mentioned earlier on about the website and
Right.
how, as you get involved with one charity and then two charities, and then your friends see you doing it, your clients see you doing it, and you get more and more requests. Hey, can you donate to this charity, or my child's this, or my friend's this, or I'm doing this? And so it became a little overwhelming, especially for our marketing director. And so she thought, oh, I've got this great idea. She built this landing page on our website, because you mentioned the website, so that all of these requests could come through one place.
And in a more organized fashion. Yes.
Because it can feel a little overwhelming.
Sure.
And something that you're doing so much good, and there's so many great things that you can give away being a med spa, to these silent auctions, that why not? It gets our name out there. But if it's overwhelming the person that's organizing it, I just think Karen's done a really good job organizing that. So if you want to check that out, go to greatskinkc.com and look at our page that shows like what information we're collecting in order to get that, to organize.
Well, another good point to that, and I'm glad you brought it up, is, and I think that's very important, especially as you get bigger. So a very small clinic won't get bombarded as much, but we've been around for 23 years and we've done a lot in that. But from a marketing opportunity, people go to that website, they see all the different companies that we've donated to. And then we're putting that out on Facebook and Instagram and eBlast, because I think our clients really appreciate the fact that we are going out of our way to give money and really not just say, hey, we want to be active in Kansas City, but we're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think to begin with, you can go to if you've never done it and you're a Mint listener out there, go to your favorite charities, your organizations, or maybe your friend's involved in something that you would like to help her or him with. And just start there. And then as those requests start coming in, I do think the website's really a great way to manage those requests.
No, I agree. And one other thing is, I think a lot of the clinics out there that don't have a marketing director, right, they're doing it themselves. If you want, you could book a 30 or 60-minute call with one of us here at Mint, and we could really go into the detail about how you do this, how you structure it.
Look at that, you selling our consulting business.
I don't know, it's what we do.
Okay, so let's also talk about what you mentioned earlier, the Girls' Night Out. Now, our Mint subscribers, our e-course subscribers, they have access to our marketing course that has all this information, but there's a lot of listeners that are not subscribers yet. So what are you considering this Girls' Night Out? What does that look like?
So there's two ways that we do it. And we call them, they're kind of done the same way once the people are here, but one is called a client party and one is called a Girls' Night Out. So our client parties, for you who are not members of e-courses, and you've probably heard this story, is we're big believers in what we call the irresistible offer. The first appointment, the most important thing there is that they just came, not how much money we do or do not make. So we encourage our current clients on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to invite friends and family into Aesthetic Care for an evening event. It's usually about 2 hours, and wine, hors d'oeuvres. Everybody they invite gets a $100 gift card, but we reward the host for how many people they invite. So if you bring 5 to 9 people, that host gets a $350 credit. If you bring 10 or more, that host gets a $700 credit. So it's a great way, especially for clients you have that would like to do more, but maybe money's a little tight. And then all of a sudden you get 10, 11, 12 people in for 2 hours. They get to meet your staff. They see your place, show them a lot of good before and afters, teach them about aesthetics. And the way we judge the success on those is how many people leave having booked their first appointment. And it's a lot. I would say we probably average 60 or 70% of them do. So then we took that idea and said, instead of donating a treatment to a charity auction, let's donate one of those, but we call those Girls' Night Outs. And so basically it's for 10 women, or it could be men, just 10 people, and the charity uses that as an auction item. Now, why would you bid on that? Well, everybody gets a $100 gift card. Everybody gets a professional physician-grade skincare product, which we sell for $89. It's our Ultra Benefits on our private label. Wine, hors d'oeuvres. The value of that is $2,200 when we put it all together. And so they're bidding on something that has a value of $2,200. So that makes money for the charity, right? But now, instead of what we used to do with the treatment, instead of getting one person in for a hydrofacial or BBL, we get 10 people in. So it just ups the number of people we get to expose ourselves to. And it's just been so well received by the charities. I mean, everybody seems to love that as an auction item. And so it benefits them, and it also benefits us.
It gives us the ability to meet so many new people.
Exactly.
And so what that night looks like is generally they're here for no more than 2 hours. usually a little bit less than that. They'll come in, they'll grab a glass of wine, they talk to each other, maybe some light appetizers, and then they sit down and you or I or one of our team members do this is aesthetic care, this is what we do. It's all about education,
exactly,
answering questions, making it fun, and I think that's one of the key things is when you're building this night for your clinic is to make sure that the person doing the presentation is comfortable and confident and has a plan.
Well, and to add to that, one thing, to go back to the Mint e-courses, on our e-course is the presentation that we use. You need to have an entertaining presentation, right? What you're not doing is saying, listen, you got to do something that's miserable for 2 hours in exchange for getting something. No, It's going to be fun. And your friends and family are going to enjoy this evening. They're going to learn a lot. And so we go into really depth about the major treatments that are popular, the neurotoxins, the fillers, BBL Halo, cool sculpting, Moxie, and the combination therapies, and all these different things. We show lots of before and after pictures. We do a lot of Q&A. We ask a lot of questions of how much these people know. And these people, whether it's 10, 12, I mean, some of them we do are much bigger, they leave thoroughly understanding who aesthetic care is. And if you've heard me talk before, even if somebody never does something with us, that is one more person in your community who knows you exist, who knows what you do, and we really talk about conditions that night. We talk about how we treat melasma and rosacea and acne scars and wrinkles and sun damage and leg veins, all those. They may run into somebody 2 weeks later that is complaining about their melasma. They're like, oh gosh, I was at this place. So now those people turn into little marketing people for you. They may not have rosacea, their best friend might. They may not have melasma, their mom might. They may not have leg veins, their sister might. So they're leaving armed with information on who you are, and then it trickles down through your community.
I love it. Our flagship training event is back for another year. Join Mint Aesthetics for our virtual immersion seminar on June 14th, September 6th, or December 6th, or all three, for a day-long comprehensive training on BBL and Halo. We will cover an in-depth didactic with insights on settings, contraindications, post-care, and more. Plus, we will close out the day with hands-on combination treatment demonstrations. For only $5.99, you can get the best BBL Halo training for your entire team. You also have the option to pay with Sciton Success Builder points. Registration is now open for all dates, so book your spot now. Did you know when a provider completes a Mint Aesthetics clinical course and passes the quiz, they get a custom certificate acknowledging their work? We are huge believers that our employees are our best resource, and training only makes them more valuable. These certificates not only boost their confidence, but can credential your team to clients as well. If you're interested in learning more about the Mint online e-courses, visit us at mintaesthetics.com. Do you know an outstanding med spa, doctor, manager, provider, or groundbreaking treatment that is reshaping the industry? Nominate them for Mint's Clinics to Watch. We are so excited to launch this initiative to recognize the true leaders in our industry. Our aim is to spotlight those leading the way to excellence, providing valuable insights for others to pave their path to success. Check out our website for past winners of the Clinics to Watch. You can also nominate someone at the link in our show notes. Share your nominations and be part of celebrating the industry leaders. Let's inspire and build success together. Also, there's a couple of the organizations that we are more involved with, and so we do live auction items.
Yes.
And so maybe share what our live auction items have looked like in the past.
So one of those is Rose Brooks. Rose Brooks is a wonderful organization. It's a home for abused women and children, a large home, huge need for that. And every bed is taken every night. We've done a tour. We took our whole staff there on Saturday to work, mow their lawn, go sort through donations, everything, because we want to be involved. But one of their big events is a casino night held at a huge hotel. And you and I were the chairs. We decided, hey, we're going to volunteer to be the chairs for this and put together a fundraising team. And I will tell you, that's a lot of work, but my God, is it rewarding. And so we were able to be a part of raising, I think it was just right around $400,000 for them. But then we donated a $10,000 year of beauty package for a live auction item. And what was nice is you and I got to stand up in front of 700 people and talk about our business, talk about this package, what it was, and then people bid and people loved it. So we've done that with them. The Taranto Foundation is wonderful to us. This is a former all-pro football player for the Chiefs who has given so much back to this community for children through healthcare, through terminally ill children, helping veterans. And they do a huge event too. And again, it turns out his wife is a good client here. She talks about us. We do another $10,000 year of beauty. And think about it. I know it sounds like a lot. Oh my God, $10,000. You are not giving $10,000 in cash. You are giving somebody credit for $10,000. So it's not costing you $10,000. It's taken, to be honest, it's costing mainly time and then maybe some consumables if they're neurotoxins and fillers. But man, do these people get loyal to you. And I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Lowe's a couple of years ago, and I told you this story, Kat. Somebody came up to me in Lowe's. This woman taps me on the shoulder. And I turn around. She goes, "Hey, you're Matt Taranto, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "You want aesthetic hair?" I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, my husband and I are clients of yours, and we love it." And they said really nice things about our clinic, which is nice. She goes, "But I want to tell you the reason we started coming there. We are very involved in philanthropy in Kansas City. And everywhere we go, you guys are so generous, donating. You're there, donating your time, donating gifts. And we had never seen that in another med spa. And that's what got us to go to your clinic." So I go back to what I said. It's a good thing for us to do because we want to help. But man, is it good for your PR. It really differentiates yourself. And I bet you money, anybody listening to you here, there's very few clinics in your geographic area that are doing this. So be different, okay? Market in a way that makes you different.
Definitely. And actually, you brought up the money point. I was going to go back to that because you think about back when, in aesthetic care's early days, doing yellow page ads for $4,000 a month and billboards and all of that spend that went out. And when you see this dollar amount that goes out, I also kind of got to go back to what's the last year, how much did our top client in aesthetic care spend?
Yeah, so we always look at our top 100. And in our main location, our 100th best spent $9,000. And our top client spent $32,000.
So somewhere between $9,000 to $32,000
for the top 100. Yes.
And let's say we are doing something for one of these the Girls' Night Out. It's a charity event. We have 35 women come in, and it's $3,500 that we've done and donating to this amazing cause. But here we have 35 people that even if they're our 100th,
if we get
or 1,000th,
if we get one average one. Our average clients are spending about $3,200, $3,300 a year. So, and we get more than that.
The whole night, right?
Do you know we did one with Women Who Mean Business, and this was a number of years ago. 71 women showed up. It was for Go Red for Women, heart disease. We donated $7,100. Sounds like a lot. The next day, one woman came and spent almost that much. Just one of those 71 spent almost that much on a program here. Yeah. And we got way more than that. So you do look at, listen, I know it can be scary. You think, oh my God, I'm writing a check. I'm a fairly new business. I'm writing a check. If I would have known this 23 years ago when I started, we would have gotten here so much faster because this type of marketing is so much more effective than an ad in a magazine, than a radio ad, than a billboard, than old yellow page ad. Those are passive. You're hoping somebody hears it or sees it and you hope they call. Here, you are getting them in. They are physically at your place for 2 hours. They know who you are. They know where you are. And, some people that I work with in consulting say, oh, my staff doesn't want to stay late. Well, first of all, your whole staff doesn't have to stay. So when you and I do this, we're here. We usually have one nurse, one esthetician, and a front desk person. And we have a very large staff. And when we hire people, we just let them know, hey, one of the things we do here, and a small number of time per year, we are going to ask you to stay late. But the providers should love it because they get to meet these people. The providers that are here that night are the ones who get the appointments booked with them, which gives them a chance to broaden their client base and make more money. So it's a win-win there.
I just love it because, I think that, yes, it's helping us to grow our business, but to your point, there's so much fulfillment that comes out of it.
Oh my God, it's phenomenal.
And the team, when they are there and they're hearing these stories about the charity and they get to be part of that as well, I just go back to finding joy in what you do, and those nights, in my opinion, are some of the best.
Well, yeah, and when we are this involved, we get tables at the events. We invite our staff, and these events are very fun. Coat and tie and dancing and all this stuff, and they bring celebrities in. It's nice. It's nice for the staff to be part of that, and we really want our staff to see. We care about our staff. We care about our staff's family, and we do a lot to try when anybody's having problems at our staff to help them. But that on a bigger scope, we care about people. I mean, again, Rose Brooks, abused women and children, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, a massive need. Duran Sherry providing health care for poor children in the community. I mean, these are wonderful causes, and it's just good to be a part of them.
agree.
You know.
Well, so two different things. So we were talking about the events that we hold here, but when we get dressed up and go out for the night, those are like the galas.
Yes.
Those are the big events that
Exactly.
the organizations are hosting.
We're going to a big charity's massive dinner event. Exactly.
Right. And oftentimes our team will go with us to those as well. So, well, thank you for joining me today on the podcast.
You know, she acts like, you know, it's a choice. She bosses me around and tells me, honey, you got to do this. You have no choice. But no, I'm happy to, of course.
Oh, you love the mic.
I do.
The microphone loves you.
Give me an hour, I'll give you 8. That's right.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Making of a
Yeah, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Making of a Multi-Million-Dollar Med Spa podcast. I'm Kat Taranto, and it's been an absolute joy to be part of your journey. Until next time, let your passion lead the way. See you soon.